We was just slandering Irish Billy off air. Well, not on air, but before you're hearing us, called
I'm
him a
not
bu-
releasing that blooper reel.
called him a bunch of horrible, terrible names. You
Who,
tuned
I
in.
did?
You called Irish Billy a bunch of terrible names.
That's not true.
Billy, Billy.
It is very true
Thank you, thank
and
you.
and very hurtful.
This is episode 105 of Knock 'Em Out the Box. My name is Vinny Paz. I'm here with my
Ciento
co-host.
cinco.
Indeed. My
Fucking
apologies.
Christ. Wait.
I'm sorry, man. I'm hyped up. I don't know why though.
Part of my voice on this episode. I can't
Here
kick
we
this
go.
cough, allergies, and just letting you guys know out there. And
Mudgy
that's not
Mud.
being mudgy.
Mhm.
It's I can't talk.
My name is Vinny Paz. I'm here with my co-host, with the co-most, the Mr. Majestic left, right, left kid. He just gave me the finger. It's not very nice at all. Episode 105. Irish Billy's in the building. We're both getting abused here.
Hello.
Irish Billy's gonna handle the pulling it out of the hat who won the t-shirts.
There's still
Right?
ta-
Some
time to
stickers.
have me write your name on this 80 times.
I saw people offering Billy
Payoffs.
payoffs, and I got to be honest with you, B. I got to be honest with you. I'm going to defend my pal. Offer me 20 clams. I'm not budging. Someone
Yeah.
offered him 20 clams. Meet me in an alley, and I'll grease you with 20 clams. Hey, yo. First off, it sounded a little bit more sexual than it
He
did.
said, "I'll grease you for 20 clams." That's
Oh,
what
I
he
gotta
said.
pay.
No. Like he'll pay, but he just needs to grease you.
He needs to
Okay.
grease you.
You're a handsome devil. You know,
You gotta
people would pay for that somewhere.
look, guys. Let me teach you a little bit something about going under the table to upset the apple cart and buy your way into things. 20 ain't gonna do it.
Not
No.
anymore.
Not anymore.
Nah, it's like a $5 bill.
That doesn't get me out of the bindle sticks and the box
Well, B,
cars.
like I told him, that's not worth the gas to go meet the guy with the
Mm-mm.
shirt.
Nah. I mean,
all right. So
I'm in Philly more than everybody on this show now, so I basically live there. Billy asked me to move there, but then we found out that there isn't where Billy lives. So
right.
he
Planet jumped in and said, "What are you talking about? You don't live here."
Getting called out in
Uh-huh.
public forum.
in a public forum. Well, you called me out in a public forum.
It's true.
I'm down south hanging out at the Italian market, with my lady, and I get this nasty note from William.
Right. Something very interesting happened this week, B, regarding the sideshow Jake Paul Tyson thing, and we said, well, there's a couple real fights on the undercard, and because we do this is our job, so it's our responsibility to cover them. Somehow, the both of us get fucking pulled into the shit show. Now, I like a good shit show, I do, but not when it comes to things I love, like boxing or music. You know what I mean? I don't like those things to be tampered with. But we definitely got pulled in somehow, and we're going to get into that later a little bit, because there's not much to talk about for next week. You know what I mean?
No, and
look at this new picture of Billy. His new
this isn't the good one.
I think this is better. What's
Nah,
that called again? A what?
It's AI. I didn't
Headshot.
actually, but it's not real.
It's not real?
No, that's fake. I'd used AI. Just Brendan posted my boxing picture. I was just
I know he
kidding
did.
around, and he put it in a public forum again.
He liked to see you. There was
I didn't know it was AI.
Right.
I didn't think it was AI.
Are you doing this on your phone, Billy, or on your computer?
Yeah.
You told me
really you put in a prompt like put me on a beach, make me look like a hunk.
On what?
Photorama. Shout out. You want to sponsor
it's an app?
us?
Yeah, sponsor this fucking.
I didn't know it was AI, Bill. You told me you did some push-ups, some sit-ups, you were training boxing, and I just, I was proud of you. So I put it out there.
Long, you made a weird face at me when I said we got pulled in, we got wrapped up, you made a weird face. Do you not know what I'm talking about?
No.
So your plan was always to watch the whole thing?
For me?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because we cover it. And because it was
but
considered a professional boxing match.
But more than half of it was a worked shit show that we both knew, because the kid's a carny.
So is Mike Tyson. Unpopular opinion.
I don't disagree with that. We also have a very unpopular opinion about his prime career. It's
You and me
unpopular.
share a very unpopular opinion.
We do. So, so let's get into some news, B, and then we'll talk about the shit show. And then the following night, where people were eerily quiet, was actually a really good card. and you know, it is really.
And I just want to, a guy that I want to talk about later. We didn't think much of. I think a lot higher of, but we'll get into it.
Okay. Billy can chime in if he wants. He doesn't have to. But B, has there been more of an example of how dumb Americans are than people who have forget casual fans? Throw that out. I mean, don't watch the sport. So everyone posting about it. And I'll tell you what, you avoided a lot of it, B, by making your life easier by not having a Facebook. I don't know if V reported to you. Like, yo, every fucking stupid I mean, from it I said to Eamon, what percentage of Americans, okay, this was globally aired, okay? So should I say what percentage of people be rather than Americans because it was globally aired?
Sure.
What percentage of people, I've asked a couple of people this. I'm asking you live on air. I don't think I texted this to you. I wanted to, but I think you were out. You were doing something prior to that, weren't you, with the girls?
Yeah, but we were back by them.
All right. Anyway, what percentage of normal people, okay?
Yeah.
Squares, go about their day, not people like us who are off the grid a little bit. Do you think thought that fight was a shoot? Shoot means real, guys. They thought it was a real fight. This isn't carny. This isn't work. The Pauls aren't carnival barkers. They're not. What percentage of people?
50. Everybody was asking me, and my not boxing friends.
Yes.
This is totally fake, right? This is totally fake, right? This is totally fake.
All right, I'd like Billy to answer now. Billy, what percentage of the world did you think, all right, this percentage of people know that it is a work?
I think it's a lot less than 50%.
Meaning more people thought it was real, or
correct? If more people thought it was real.
If Mike Tyson won the fight, everybody would have said it was real.
All right, so we're getting into something very interesting here. I asked the identical question to OG Gavin.
Mm-hmm.
He says exactly what Brandon says, 50%. I ask Eamon, longtime boxing fan, New York, Staten Island. 90%, he says to me. My final answer to how many people believed this was real, and I stand on it before it and after it. 95% people thought it was real. 5 people.
I was out Friday.
Knew it was work.
I was out Friday at a bar, and there were a bunch of dudes there, older, probably in their like 50s, and it's all they were talking about, trying to talk to us about it, trying to bring it up, and they were jazzed up, couldn't wait for it. And I don't think they've ever watched a boxing match otherwise.
Now, to me, that's a sad commentary on the intellect of Americans. I know this is a boxing podcast, but it's boxing related.
He's still the most famous boxer. You and I have talked about that.
We have.
This Jake Paul kid, which I've tried to explain to people, I've said it on the show. Well, it actually got cut last week. I did say it. He is a good white collar boxer. If you go to your average gym where there's pros, Joes mixed in, right?
Yeah,
he's a good Joe. That being said,
yeah, he's a guy who has a wife and kid and a job, and he goes and he stays in shape by boxing.
Right.
He's good in that.
For Jake Paul, who happens to be very wealthy and doesn't have a wife and kid, he pays a lot of money to very good trainers to teach him all aspects of a sport that most people can't afford.
Yeah.
Number one. Yeah. And don't have access to.
Yeah.
Like his fucking trainer is Hamza Shiraz's trainer.
Correct.
It's Ricky Funes is his trainer.
Yeah.
Right now, I believe it's like Jalen Love.
Jalen Love was working the corner, but his trainer is
fucking Goosen. Yeah. Was his first trainer. Yeah. Like this is a kid who, like, most people don't have access to that.
Correct.
And those guys went, oh shit, he's pretty fucking good. Like almost everybody I know that's involved in boxing, from commentator level to ex-pro to ex-world champion go, yeah, he's good for a regular Joe. And that's the thing. That's what people don't realize.
Well, I want to bring something home because I don't
Sure.
want to get into.
I don't
people
even
thinking
really
you're
want to
saying
talk
he's a
about it.
good. Neither do I. That he's a good boxer.
He's not a
I'm go-
good, let me just clarify. He is not a good professional boxer. I will use this analogy. If you, God bless you. If you go
That was on the air.
no, but I
all
saw
right.
it.
Thank you. Salud.
And sorry, it's a reflex to say God bless you.
No, I
So-
appreciate it, but I didn't want to sneeze on air.
So if you were to go to a park and there's a guy draining threes, there's a
Yeah.
guy pulling up with hitting jumpers on people.
This got
Okay.
cut from the show when we talked
Yeah,
about this.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We would all go, oh shit, this guy's good. I'll pick him first.
Yeah.
Because we're playing 5-on-5 and we're a bunch of fucking boobs.
Yeah.
Okay. That doesn't mean that guy can go play for the Sixers or the Knicks.
Right.
So if you guys remember, and I don't think I'm talking to our audience here, but I want you guys to say this to your non-boxing friends who probably
please.
bombarded all of your inbox with text
Exactly.
messages, etc.
Pass this along.
He is not a good professional boxer. He lost to a guy who's ranked like 110th in the world, who's 25 pounds less than him in Tommy Fury. Okay. That's where Jake Paul is. I know personally decent amateurs that would kick his ass at the weight. He is good against a guy like me. Okay. That's who he's good against. A guy who's way bigger than, number one, and he has more time to train than. He is not good against real boxers. Did he look good against a 58-year-old guy with a bum wheel? Do you think he looked good against Mike Tyson?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah.
No, I think he looked like shit.
He looked like shit. Right.
Yeah.
You know who he looks good against? A fucking ex-basketball player who needs a check.
Yeah.
A fucking
it's 5'8", 180, 180.
A beat up,
maybe.
Right. A beat up fucking former MMA guy whose boxing isn't his specialty.
Right.
Who was a wrestling-based MMA guy.
Right.
That's who he looks good against.
Yeah. I was just gonna finalize the point we're trying to bring home by saying if you and I brought Jake Paul right now to Greg Hackett's gym, I know 16 and 17-year-olds that would pack him up and put him in a body bag without much.
See, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think he's good to the level where he can hang in there with 16 and 17-year-old guys.
No, the kids I'm talking about will blow him out. Just destruction. We can agree to disagree.
Yeah, we can agree to disagree. And I'm also going based on the fact before he was famous for this boxing shit, that Joe Goosen, Ricky Funes, and those guys were all like, he's actually not bad. Now, when they were asked about Logan Paul, who fought Floyd,
yeah,
crickets. Those guys were all like, well, he's a good professional wrestler.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you
Right.
could see the difference that one kid can actually do what's asked of him. But again, guys, this doesn't mean that he's good. That's not what I'm saying. So like, it kind of gets convoluted. Like when people ask me, like, is he good? I'm like,
that's what I mean too. I think there's a convoluted there when you're like, yo, can my man Jay ball? And you're like, yeah, if we're at the park
against me.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's like comparatively, what would Jake Paul do against a guy round his size, like a cruiserweight? You know, like he would be obliterated by the. Look, he lost to a guy that B said he was 120. I thought he wasn't. I thought he was in like the 300s. Tommy Fury when he lost to Tommy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, a very. Let's just call him a low ranked. He's a low ranked middleweight, right? Or light? Was he light heavyweight?
Bro, I honestly don't even.
I actually have to look him up. He doesn't even fight. He's a part-time fighter.
He's a huge reality star over there, and he's a model. And his girlfriend is a huge reality star. They hover on being like the UK's Kardashians, like Kim and Kanye. It's a shit show. So he doesn't take it serious. He fights dudes with records that are 2-35. And
the last guy he fought was 1-0.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So he's like a light heavy. I guess he's considered a cruiser. But he's like weighs like 177 pounds for fights.
Yeah.
175. This guy, whatever. Look, they put together a nice undercard. From what I understand, he pays the people that fight on MVP really well, and he pays the commentators really well. So he's trying to bring some sort of parity to boxing in terms of them getting paid and getting compensated. And it's he has a big fuck you to Dana White, who famously underpays UFC guys who go out there and lay it on the line. So I appreciate that aspect of it. He does seem to be a big fan of the sport. It doesn't mean that he's good. And unfortunately, if he keeps doing this, what he's doing is taking away from fights like Mario Barrios, Abel Ramos, which was a great fight.
Yeah.
But he's got to do what he's got to do. And you know what? If the fighters are I'm trying to find the silver lining of all this.
Yeah, I don't have any, because on top of this, we're talking about him being, what he is, I don't think he's a good human being. So it's even more tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know shit about this guy. Like I don't understand why they're famous.
Well, we've had this talk when I go,
but I guess they're YouTube personalities.
Yeah, but if you say to the girls, "Do you love these two?"
They're too young for them.
My son isn't, and he said they're nerds.
Right.
When I asked him, I'm like, "Yo, hip me to who is what." I had that post, I believe you retweeted it months ago, where I said, who are these people buying this? Is it 9, 10, 11-year-old girls begging their parents to buy the pay-per-view? And I got a series of messages, all of them fairly well written, but no one that could put their finger on it.
When I was still working at my old job, one of my coworkers and really close friends at work, his daughter waited online for Logan Paul to sign something. Like it was a meet and greet and I was like, what does this guy do? And his response to me was, it's YouTube, bro. Like they just do like pranks and like silly stuff, and it appeals to like, and this is at least 9 years ago, and it appeals to like 10-year-old kids. And it was boys and girls at this thing.
The pictures and videos of them before they started to think they were tough are dark. They're it's the definition of the young kid word cringe. Like, have you ever seen ones from like before the boxing shit?
Yeah.
Like that hair thing?
Yeah, dude. Like my kids watch two different families. I'm not going to say their names on here. I don't want to give them any more fucking publicity than they already get.
Yeah.
And I don't want to like hurt their feelings, but I told my older daughter tonight, I was like, this is not good.
Right.
And she goes, what do you mean? I said, they're not good singers, honey.
Right.
Like, they're not good musicians. They're poorly, she doesn't know what a cover song is, but I said, they're poorly covering more talented people. So I played the Vivo videos of
the real songs. Yeah.
And she was like, no, Dad, this isn't the real song.
Right.
That's the real song. And I was like, well, I mean,
when Full House was cracking, my niece was little and watched it. And Lenny and I would torture her by saying how the Olsen twin that played that
Michelle.
Kid, Alexis, oh, she's so ugly. Oh, this shows the pits, Alexis.
Yeah.
She would go into fits of crying.
Yeah.
And it's like the same thing. It's we got the same thing going on here, except it's our sport.
Right.
The Olsen twins never bothered me with the Olsen twin never fought an MMA guy in a boxing ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, look, the presentation was good. 60 million people were streaming it, so Netflix had problems with that. It was jamming up. Everyone was complaining about that.
Did you have problems though?
Problems to the point where I couldn't watch things? No, but it jammed up a bunch of times. So at one point I told you we can both get the Netflix app through our you use Verizon Fios and I have Comcast Xfinity. So my app, I was watching my Netflix through the Amazon Fire Stick, and it kept freezing. Then I went over to the cable box. Comcast.
Old school.
So as we first start talking, let's start the night. Well, we gotta get it. Should we do the news first and then get into that?
Yeah, go.
Finish this up.
Go. Let's finish this up real quick. I had not an issue.
Okay, I know you
clear
did.
stream.
But I text you and go, what the fuck? There's this YouTuber from another country and an Indian guy who's trying to fight. I thought Shushu was going to be on the thing.
And he's on YouTube.
So then I got to find that. So while this fucking Indian guy is fighting this YouTuber, I'm watching Shushu, which we are going to get into.
What are we talking about?
I don't know, but we're talking about Shushu, who's a real guy. So we get into that. So yeah, let's get into some news.
All right, do
this
some
is
news.
making me insane. Teofimo Lopez versus Devin Haney is reportedly now in talks to potentially take place next for Teofimo's WBO super lightweight world title. I cannot believe I found myself in a position where I am going to be rooting for Teofimo Lopez, but here we are. I also think he packs Devin up.
I will believe this when the bell rings.
Okay. Because of promotional stuff or because both people are out of their minds?
This is
their minds fathers.
We just
a powder keg.
That there's carny shit about in boxing.
Yes.
We went through 10 fucking minutes of this show.
We did.
Or whatever it was. And
we did.
This is two carnival barkers made kids and parade them out as fucking boxers, and we're gonna watch that.
Right.
So I actually hope they hurt each other badly at the press conference. So much so that they're banned from the corner and can't go. It'd be nice.
It's very reasonable.
It'd be nice to see their kids.
Reasonable request.
Be nice to see their kids take a break because I do feel like both of these kids are abused.
Agreed. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Who's more awful, Bill Haney or Teofimo Lopez Sr.?
Oh, Bill Haney only because I see him more. But
okay. His voice is more prevalent.
But I just see him more. He like pops up on my feed.
That's what I mean by voice. I don't mean his
got it.
You know, he's in your fucking personal space more often.
Sure.
We have to eat a slice of pizza before the fight. Who do you choose to sit down with?
Oh, God.
A slice and a slice and a soda, a slice and a beer.
I guess Bill.
Because in some way you believe that somewhere maybe Bill is capable of keeping himself together for 20 minutes. Whereas there's not 90 seconds.
No, I think that Bill turns it on for the cameras.
It doesn't make him any better.
I think that Teofimo Sr. is 24 hours.
No, that's him, bro. He lives the gimmick. He's full on. That's him.
Yeah, I think the chicken or an egg scenario.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like,
yeah, of course.
He's the egg.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Like he was born that way.
Yeah, agreed.
I just, man, fuck.
David Benavidez will face David Morrell in a light heavyweight clash. On February 1st at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Brandon Figueroa versus Steph Fulton rematch. Isaac Pitbull Cruz versus Angel Fierro. And Jesus Ramos versus Jason Rosario on the undercard. Not mad at that.
Thank you. That's a great PBC card.
It's a great PBC card. Now, if they dare make us pay for this, this is going to switch up what we are both saying. I don't know.
Yeah, do you think we should go to this?
That would be lit. That would be lit. We have enough time to get it together. Let's talk about it. We'll talk about it off air. We'll talk to Correct. We'll talk to our guys in Vegas. We'll talk to Shecky. Let's see, how it looks.
All right.
And, okay. Gervonta Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach has a target date of March 1st. The fight nobody wants continues to be talked about and ballyhooed, and dates moving around and round. As if, right. And
March.
Right. Wild. All right, this is a little bit long-winded because a series of things happened back to back to back, okay? So cut me off if you want me to stop this piece of news. You know what I mean? Frank Warren has said that Anthony Joshua is now out of the picture for a Daniel Dubois rematch in the near future because Dubois' next fight on February 22nd will be someone else. And then the IBF mandatory will be due against the Martin Bakole versus Ajit Kabayel winner. Piece of news. Ajit Kabayel has now pulled out of purse vids for his IBF final eliminator versus Bakole, which was set to determine the next mandatory challenger for Dubois. Bacoli's trainer, Billy Nelson, has revealed. Why he would do that, I have no idea. You work your whole life to get yourself in a position for a mandatory, and you pull out of the purse bids. Big anything. Should I finish? And then you're making a face like
I'm just curious if he got some fucking tip like, yeah, the IBF's just gonna for no reason strip Dubois and you'll get it.
And you're gonna get
a shot against.
He's got the drop on Sunday
against the fucking lorry driver. You know what I mean? And he's like, all right, yeah.
Yes. Bacoli versus Big Bang Zhang is now likely to be ordered as Zhang is next in the IBF heavyweight rankings. Last bit of this one long piece. The IBF have now officially ordered Martin Bacoli versus Big Bang Zhang as a final eliminator to determine the next mandatory for Daniel Dubois' IBF world title. So, all right, it looks like their ducks are in a row and that AJ is completely out for the time being. And I guess he's really hoping for Tyson Fury to pull this off in next month.
Shitballs.
Oscar De La Hoya has declared that Virgil Ortiz's next fight will take place on February 22nd in Riyadh against either Jaron Boots Ennis, Sebastian Fundora, or Terrence Bud Crawford. I'm not mad at any of those get made. I'm in.
I say nothing else.
I'm in on all of that. Hey yo, this is so we talk about hustling backwards, B, on this show a lot. You know, a guy has a nice little win. Opetaia did it recently.
Yeah.
Dillian White will face Ebenezer Tete in a heavyweight clash on December 15th in Gibraltar. I mean, if this guy wants to be floating around and it is a part of things, because there's still, you know, we talk about that three-pronged crown of AJ, Fury, and Usyk, and you could argue
since March.
You could argue that the three-prong of AJ is now gone and that it's Dubois, Fury, and Usyk. Take your pick.
Yeah. I mean, where's Dillian White ranked now? He's
I was going to ask you
20th.
Is he hovering in the top 20?
No. So yeah, but he doesn't fit anywhere. He's got to just take a fight. And I want what would they be paying him in Gibraltar?
I don't know. Is there a bag here? Who is he with still promotionally? Eddie?
I don't even know.
Fuck you, Eddie.
Fuck you, Eddie.
You're the fuck you man. Fernando Martinez will face. Fernando Martinez will defend his WBA super flyweight world title in a rematch with Kaz Ioka on December 31st in Tokyo. So we're going to get Christmas Eve morning from Tokyo and Christmas Eve day from Tokyo.
Nice.
Yes, early morning. I don't know if you're going to be working those days or you could
on Christmas Eve?
Yeah. And Christmas.
I'll be delivering presents.
And New Year's Eve, right, and New Year's Eve day.
No.
Lastly, WBO president Gustavo Oliveri has stated that Hamza Shiraz has now withdrawn from the ordered Janabek Alhamdulillah fight, so purse bids have been canceled. Frank Warren previously said Shiraz will be fighting for a world title on February 22nd,
and we
did not say who against. I do not know why he would pull out of that. No, did he? And Frank said he's definitely going to be fighting for a belt. So
I don't like hearing that.
Neither do I. We talked about who else has belts at 160. I think Janabek has 2. So who are the other 2 guys?
At 60. Janabek has the IBF and the WBO. All right. Lara has one.
Forgot about that. And he's PBC.
Right? Doesn't he have something?
No, absolutely. He's had it. And he was been sparking people out. This guy's in his 60s, wasn't a puncher at 54, and he's
why is it not listed on BoxRec?
I don't know. So we have a count of how many belts, B? 3.
Adames has a belt.
Yes, Carlos Adames.
Yeah, so he's got
and what's
the WBC.
And what's the last thing he did, B? And is he down for something? I'll bet it's him, B. I'll bet it's him.
He beat up Terrell Goucher.
He did. Terrell Goucher can fight a little bit. How
Yeah.
about this, B? That's a Pazzi pick, but that's not a pick for a win
Not
or
a pick for a
loser.
win. It's Shiraz versus Adames.
Carlos Adames on February 22nd.
Fucking tough fight. Bro.
Tough fight, rugged fight.
I
This Shiraz better box if I'm calling that. There's a rugged guy in Adames. So B, let's get to the real fights that happened at AT&T in this Carney event. So as I said, I figured Shushu would be on the main card.
So did I.
Real guy, up and coming guy, names bubbling from Brooklyn. Mike's from Brooklyn. It makes sense to say.
They did like 80 promos together.
They did.
And it looked like Top Rank thought he was going to be on the main card too, because all week they promoted Shushu on the card.
Big. Very good point. I'm willing to bet they don't let that happen if they know he's going to YouTube.
What's the point? They're losing the guy for a fucking date.
For a promoter, a date, and a fucking showcase. Because unless you're a sick animal that like us that's going to go back and watch things. So did you watch it, B?
Did
you catch it?
I did not.
Shushu Carrington fought a guy named Dana Coolwell. The question marks, B, for you that surrounded Keyshawn Davis prior to his most recent performance, I now have those questions about Shushu Carrington. This is a guy, he went the distance.
He knocked him down twice, right?
Yes, still made it out. We talk about the killer instinct and the kill switch on this show a lot. The instinct is one thing, the switch is another. They're the same, but they're different. Lacking power, you can't hold that against a guy. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that Paul Malignaggi wasn't a killer, because you know what I mean? He had hand problems. He had enough power to get guys' attention. Paul even with hurt hands, so maybe Shushu has that, especially with dropping the guy.
Yeah, he's not a big puncher.
I didn't feel like Dana Coolwell was out on Queer Street either time.
Right.
So I now have those questions, B. And again, them talking about Inoue, look, let me tell you something, man. By the time Shushu,
Coolwell's never been knocked out.
If he gets better, he's
27, guys.
Shushu, he's 27. That Inoue fight is going to happen relatively soon if they're trying to make it within 2 years, unless there's vast improvement to a 27-year-old. This guy that fought on Friday is getting packed up in one round by Inoue right now. If they make that fight, and like we continue to,
unless Inoue goes off a cliff and one guy ascends and one guy descends, I don't see how I'm finding it very difficult to disagree with you.
I'm not seeing how there's an ascension. I think we now know this is who he is.
Okay.
Now, who can he beat?
There's guys he could beat.
This is who he is. I don't know. I'm not saying, I'm done with him. It's right. I'm right where you were with Keyshawn. Yo, this guy's got to show me something. If Shushu gets a name with Top Rank soon, a name guy in that division, and looks great. All right, now he did from
this division's. So there's the guy you mentioned last week, Rai Salim, right?
Yeah, Rai Salim's good.
He's good. And then I'm going to read guys off.
Is Figueroa and Cool Boy Steph, did they both go up, or are they here?
Steph Fulton is ranked number 1 in this division.
Yeah, Steph Fulton will.
Angelo Leo.
Yes, very good fight.
Brandon Figueroa.
Pro Box's Angelo Leo. Shout out.
Yeah. Rafael Espinoza.
I call him the cheat code.
Roa Basie Ramirez.
Come on, B.
Nick Paul.
So far, the Shushu beat any of the people you named. Don't overthink about it. Don't overthink it. Sorry. Don't get analytical and think about what happened.
I don't. The only people I would.
Is there? You're looking at the top 10. Is there anyone in there that fight this weekend?
Angelo Leo would be a guy I would say that's why if I'm going to give him like a real step up,
he can be outboxed and Shushu can box.
Right.
I hear you. And
Nick Ball has impressed me and you.
He has, and me more so you was like, nah, this kid's too rough. I don't mean rough in the positive way. I mean raw, crude.
Yeah,
crude about Nick Ball. And guess what, man? He just won me over.
He's
arguably the best conditioned guy in the sport right now.
It's a tough division.
He has a frame. He's a wiry, tall guy to go up, but I don't think that's the answer to what I see are the problems. So B, I'm just laying it out there exactly as you did. You didn't shit on Keyshawn. You just said, Vin, I got some questions.
Yeah.
I just have some questions that need to be answered. And at 27, you keep reminding me, because I keep thinking he's 22, like a lot of these dudes. You know what I mean? There's a lot of, we still, call Tank a kid because we still think it's the guy who fought Sniper Pedraza. Yeah, he's 23. He's got heavy hands. He just turned 30. It's like, okay, it's time to turn it up now, man. I need to see him in there next via Top Rank with a real guy. And I need to see him beat that real guy for me to say, or have a great fight with him. A loss isn't the worst thing in the world.
We're
going to talk about that next.
So let's just be frank here. I don't think there's anybody in the top 10 he actually beats. There's guys that give him a chance against. Yeah. So unless he shows me something different.
That's where I'm at right now.
I mean, granted, he's fighting guys who haven't been knocked out, tough guys. But look, it's once you're in the top 10 and you're contender status.
Look, Dana Coolwell, Brandon, was supposed to be a gimme fight, and not just a gimme fight, a showcase fight.
Yeah.
If you consider knocking a guy down twice and not getting him out of there that nobody knows.
Well, the only defense I'll make is that no one else has been able to do it either against Coolwell.
Yeah, fair enough. He's got a chin, clearly.
Right.
Mario Barrios versus Abel Ramos, WBC welterweight title. We like Mario Barrios on this show. He's a very solid fighter, but there's 4 guys with belts at 147.
Bro, he gets hit way too much.
Listen, the disparity between Boots and the other 3.
And we really criticized Boots last week.
Yes, and it's still, the disparity is insane.
Very insanely wide.
Barrios set up a beautiful right hand that dropped Ramos in the second, so I'm going, all right, the light work. Barrios looked really sharp at this arguably the best I've seen him look early.
He's throwing triple jabs.
Yes, beautiful.
Changing levels, changing speed.
And then, but as I'm watching that, I go, this guy doesn't move his fucking head. As I'm writing down that he's good, I go,
he is very defensively flawed.
I just go, put in the back of your head that he doesn't move his head in case he gets clipped. Right?
Doesn't get his hands back either.
So as I'm thinking, B, how good he looks, and I'm going to text you. I'm ready to text you. B, our guy, but maybe he's a couple steps better than we thought, He gets hit, dropped, hurt badly by a big right hand on the button.
Yeah.
In the 6th. The complexion of the fight completely changes.
Totally changed.
Barrios just refuses to move his head even after this. And Ramos keeps cracking him with clean shots. Barrios' nose was broken and definitely giving him problems.
Yeah.
Good, tough, bloody scrap. I had it 114, 112 Barrios in a brutal back and forth fight. Judges had it 114, 112 Ramos, 116, 110 Barrios, 113, 113 split decision draw. Look, I think unification fights with Brian Norman or Stan Jonas would be really fun if he fight, because if he's not going to move his head,
no, they're just going to beat the hell out of each other.
Now, the sicko in me is, let's run it back. Let's run this back.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, B, that these guys are capable. So I think we both think it's Boots at the top, then the other champs, and then I think it's Mario Barrios. Like a guy that probably wouldn't ever have sniffed a belt in our era of 40,
right. I mean, this is a very weak 47 era.
Yes,
the previous 47 era just a year ago.
Right. We don't have, I was going to go back 25 years.
A year ago.
A guy like Obakar would beat Mario Barrios. then.
Yeah.
And Obakar never sniffed a belt, not sniffed. He never got a belt.
Yeah,
And he
right.
was really good. So it's like, I'm looking at Stan
Imagine if he
Jonas.
had to fight like Ike Corte.
Right, the
or
bazooka. Yeah, I mean, Mosley at
no, he's just
47.
hey, he's just not that talented.
No, I
And
like him.
who was the commentator on this? Was it Roy?
So it was Roy, Rosie Perez, and Mauro Ranallo.
Roy was making good points where he's like, he just backs straight up and doesn't move his head. And he's like, that's why he's getting hit. And
Man,
yeah.
Roy's speech is getting, it's the drop. He was bad, the speech on HBO. And now it's just like, they should have, what's it called? Subtitles at this point. He still knows what he's talking about. In theory.
Oh no, I'm fluent in Roy, so I don't need subtitles.
I'm fluent in Roy and B-Hop, but this was, I think of who was watching at home, non-boxing fans.
No, I
probably thought he was speaking another language.
Roy is a polarizing commentator. People either really, I liked him.
Your favorite lady, besides your wife and daughters, my mother, not a Roy fan.
Not a Roy fan.
Like, you'll get out of here. I don't even want to listen to this.
There's a lot of not a Roy fans.
Get out of here. I don't want to hear this. And it's tough explaining to her how amazing he was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As a fighter.
Sure. All right. So what's next for Barrios? Like you said, any of the top guys, we just like to see a unification. No need to really talk about it, but I do think Abel Ramos deserves a rematch. I'd love to watch this again.
I'd love to see this. Abel Ramos showed his ass and how tough he is.
If they could pair this with another
if this is the co-main on a nice
card.
I'd love to watch Mario Barrios, Abel Ramos on the tank main co-main.
Because they're saying March 1st, but you know that could be next June.
Right. But no, wouldn't that make you feel a little bit better about that fight?
Sure.
If the rematch of this was on that.
Let's just do some math. November to December, December to January, January, February to March.
Can a broken nose heal in that time?
I'm saying, can they heal in that time?
Yeah.
But all right, moving on.
Yeah, and but if they don't run it back, Brian Norman and Stan Jonas fight, that's a little bit unified, and that they're helping.
The problem with that is promoters.
Yeah, promotion.
Yeah.
So are we gonna just are we done now with this and the Carney shit? Like, so one thing I wanted to say on the air, I can't say what this person does in boxing because it's a job that there's so little of them that if I do, everyone will be able to narrow it down to like 6 people, and I don't want to do that. But this person knows factually. Now, because me and you already know it's Carney shit, so that's not news to us. But there's such Carneys. There's in the contract for these two brothers, like, you mustn't knock out Mr. Paul, or this isn't valid. This contract.
That's true.
Yes,
you've seen that.
I know someone who has, but
okay.
I can't get. And factually, he told me that if Mike knocked Paul out in the first, which is when we know if he did, he would have. You know, same thing. Doesn't get the bag.
Okay,
your face is telling me.
I don't see how that would get past the sanctioning body.
I'm fine with you like this, but I live by everything is a work, Terry Funk. I live by it. Right. I believe everything is a work, bro. Start getting into anything.
All I'll say about any of this stuff
is Carnival Barker snake oil salesman is the president of the United States. They can't fix this. Their fights are fixed. They just are. I'm sorry to anyone out there. It's not just Carney shit. They're not just Carnival Barkers. They are actually fixed contractually.
I don't know if I believe that.
I'm fine with you not believing it.
Okay.
When I get wrapped up in Carney shit and works, I know it. I know that everything is a work.
I just wanted to mention about Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano. If they're going to put women on a big stage, they need to be 3-minute rounds. Enough with the 2-minute rounds. It's impossible to score. Once someone gets on a roll, we've been watching boxing our entire lives.
Yeah.
The best part of most rounds is in the last minute. if you
and there theoretically isn't a last minute now.
right,
They took
so
it from
they took it from them. So if you do this, if you ask these girls, they all want to fight 3-minute rounds.
Yeah.
If you continue to do this aspect of the sport will never take off. The one thing UFC does right, I believe, is that they have the same minutes. If you want to do 10, I mean, Lou DeBell explained this to me a long time ago. It has to do with concussion protocol. Women get concussions easier than men.
Mm-hmm.
Look, for the sake of a better fight and for people to tune in and actually hook onto this stuff, you have to have 3-minute rounds. That's it. That's all I want to say about it. That is arguably the 2 best women of all time who are now ancient in the sport.
I'd like to say something if you don't mind.
Sure.
Respect to those ladies. It was fun. You've never heard me say, you've heard me say on this show for a few years now. We're in our 3rd or 4th year. I will never watch a female fight. I never will cover one. I watched this because of the situation that we felt we had to put ourselves in for this whole shit show. They beat the dog shit out of each other. There is screams of robbery. Another thing that shows that most of the people watching,
it's not a robbery.
No, it's not.
It was.
I had 95, 94. Katie
For
Taylor.
Katie.
Yep.
Okay. I didn't score it because I
wanted to play along, B. You know what I mean?
I am. Okay. I'm just going to say it as a rule. I will never score 2-minute rounds.
I like that.
I won't do it.
I like that.
I am adamant about this. I'm not a huge fan of women's boxing. I'll explain why. There's
you really have to.
The talent.
Say that?
The talent pool is way too small.
Yeah.
There's like 20 girls a division
that
fight, women a division that fight. Yes, there are some of these women are good, talented. They're good, talented fighters, but they're never going to be able to showcase themselves because there's like one in the division and the rest all stink.
Correct. The girl we don't like as a person, Clarissa Shields. Her claim to fame is like, I'm a 12 division champ. I'm like, yo, you're beating housefrows.
Right.
You literally beat the lady that checked me out at Walmart.
Right.
So what is that?
I mean, there was an instance a couple of years back where there's a top level. I'm not going to say her name. She's just retired, but there's a top level fee. And if you guys watch undercards, you know what I'm talking about. They put her in there against someone who was probably like a fitness person. And I use that term when I say I looks like a fitness guy.
Yeah.
No, this was someone from like Crunch Fitness that they pulled. Somehow got ranked, put into this fight, and was destroyed in about 3 seconds. You can look it up. And you see just a giant gap in someone who's trained, dedicated themselves to this, and someone who made weight. That and 2-minute rounds, guys, I'm sorry. I just can't get with it. You want me to hook into this? You want me to cover this or whoever? I don't know who I'm talking to, but they got to be 3-minute rounds. It's got to be done the right way.
Nation. Yeah.
So
look, to me, Lucia Riker is the greatest female fighter that ever fought. I don't know if that's who you're referencing. You don't have to tell me. I was like, everything, the fluidity, the shot, she fights like a dude. I don't mean that in a some kind of misogynistic way. It's the only way I can say it.
Right.
So lastly, before we move on, I just wanted to say, these are the 2 greatest women of all time. They are levels below good male fighters. When people tell me, no, I like it. No, I like it. They're just as good. They're hot. They're not. They're not just no foot feints. There's no head feints. There's none of the subtleties of beautiful.
I will say something about Amanda Serrano in particular.
Okay.
She just outguns everybody. She's not.
Oh no, I'm not getting into any of that.
No. What I'm agreeing with you.
I'm just saying.
I am agreeing with you.
If those two ladies that put everything on the line, right, and dug deep and fought and beat the shit out of each other. If you take away the boobs and the long hair and the private parts, and if that was 2 dudes, I'd be like, yeah, these are 2 dudes we'd watch at the Blue Horizon in a good on a good club fight.
It's a rock'em sock.
A nice club fight that we would see at what's it called? Maybe Hammerstein or the Elks Lodge in Queens, or the Blue Horizon. That's their skill level. So when you guys are trying to sell me on this, stop, because I watched it and they're the best. It was fun as shit, and I respect both of them. I really do. But it's not for me. I did it basically for the show and the fun of it, because me and B were just joking with each other back and forth about the carny vibe of the whole night. And then Rosie Perez calling it, and then cutting to Johnny and Ralph Macchio. And it was so much of people from other countries were going, this is America.
Well, this
is Idiocracy, the movie.
It's funny that you say all that stuff.
This is why everyone that watched it from another country says we're stupid Americans. That's what this was. Mike's ass is hanging out like Rikishi. It's like nothing could be more of a monstrosity.
That's what a UFC card is like. It can be a who's who of like.
I saw a clip of this Trump walking in with this Elon Musk and this Dana. It is like a fucking carnival, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Those fans are such mutants when you scan the crowd. I've never been more glad that I've never watched anything than any time like a highlight. Just say I'm watching Sports Center, and I can't change the channel quick enough, and I catch something.
Yeah,
I'm like, these are ghouls. You are the juggalos of sports. MMA fans are the juggalos of sports. Thank you.
This is Hillary Clinton calling Trump support. We just lost half our audience.
We did. Sorry, all MMA guys. It's just you're not gonna
deplorables.
Deplorables.
You just call them
deplorable
basket of deplorables.
Miscreants, the undesirables.
Oh shit! All right,
Saturday. During the day, this B likes these Saturday fights. During the day, DAZN, Riyadh, Latino night. Starts off with this kid Ziad Zizzo Almayaf, 6-0, 1 KO against Juan Garcia, who is 5-6.
Yeah, I left that off. Like, you want to put that one on there?
Well, I have some. Look,
is that a Pazzi picks?
No,
Pazzi prospects?
It's certainly not. It's certainly not.
Holy shit!
I'll tell you why I brought it up, because they're trying to push him, because he's really the first guy ever from there, not Saudi ethnically, but from there. They're really trying to push it. He's training with Buddy McGirt. Fight starts. He's got a good jab. Baby. He's got a fast hand. Yeah. Fast hands. I'm like, okay, when he abandons the jab, not only can this kid get hit, but he does get hit. His head is on the line. Garcia just fought traditional Mexican style, hooks to the body, pressure, hooks upstairs. Zizzo is another young guy that abandons the jab.
Mm-hmm.
This is a plague. We keep asking trainers to write in. I don't understand. I had it 58-56 for Juan Garcia. Judge had it 58-58 Zizzo. 57-57 twice, majority draw. The drop on this Zizzo kid is that he's quote unquote learning on the job and they're moving him slow. If he fought a real guy now, he's getting steamrolled. He's not making it out of the first. I don't know if this is sort of a gimmicky Thomas Lamana cornflake thing going on here, but Saudi's version?
Yeah, I think so. I watched it and I went, oh, okay.
Then it is what it is. Oscar Duarte versus Batar Akhmedov. Originally, it was supposed to be Kenneth Sims. At 140. I called for an upset special in this one. I said how good I think Batar Akhmedov is. I also said I think all three of his losses were wins. He has 3 losses going into this fight.
What'd you think about this?
And look, 2 big, strong guys, both technically sound. Akhmedov has a great punch selection. B, were you paying attention to that?
Yeah.
Weird cut, mixes it up to confuse you. Double jab, hook off it, uppercut, stab jab downstairs, straight left. Would be very confusing. Duarte was waiting to catch and shoot. Really good stuff to me. Phone booth fight.
I thought Duarte fought really well.
Yeah. I thought occasionally Akhmedov would pivot and create angles, and that's what was separating him from me. Whereas you thought he fought really good, Duarte, I thought that he would just that little step to the side, that pivot, and shoot the shots from there from Akhmedov. Look, he was doing subtle things in there. I'm sorry, something just cut off, right? I
You're
cut off
good.
for a
I can
second.
hear you.
All right, cool. He was doing subtle things in there, man, and that stuff is hard to judge. The shape these guys were in is superhuman. Both
Yeah.
look like they were cut out of stone. Hellish pace, babe. I'm going, when is this going to slow? Neither guy was slowing down. What a fucking fight. I had a 96-94 Akhmadov. But B, look, you know, when we have that score, or if we have 115, 113, and we start talking about, well, if you swing around, you know, when we talk about that, I purposely wrote in my notes, I had a 96-94, but a stern 96-94, meaning I can't see you giving, I can't see it being given any other way. And I have a feeling we're about to argue.
Well,
so I wrote no wiggle room.
Weisfeld, Dontrella, and
98-92,
June by Lim.
97-93, 96-94, all for Duarte. That's a bad decision to me. You don't think it's bad. I wrote bad decision in caps. Then after I wrote really bad decision.
No, I'll watch it again.
Two of these cards are egregious. Hold these motherfuckers accountable.
Dontrella?
Dontrella's, I got issues with him, and I'm going to step to him when we see him. Oscar Duarte called out Devin Haney post-fight. He'll beat shit down Devin Haney's leg. I'd love to see them run it back, but what do I know? Look, he's 14-0 to me, Akhmadov. He's 10-4. This is the best 10-4 fighter on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Okay. B is really upsetting me with this. He does this grumpy old man head shake, like when your grandfather was disapproved of what you did. But you loved him and he loved you, so he didn't yell. I don't know how did you score it?
I didn't score it, but I thought Duarte nicked it.
No, you're nuts. You're nuts.
I'm nuts, of course.
You are. You are.
No.
It's a stern 96.
You're also not gonna like later on in this card who I thought.
How'd you start drinking at this point? This was
I rewatched
I'm not
it today.
busting balls. You watched this fight twice.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna watch it again now.
So you watched it the second time and didn't score it?
Yeah, I didn't score it.
I don't. I like that you're saying it like it's not part of your job.
I don't have to score every fight. It's not part of my job.
Yes, it is. Especially when it's like this between real guys. You don't want to score the Saudi kid. It's gonna get sparked clean out. Next fight, no problem.
Yeah, I didn't put him on the fucking list.
I know you didn't, because look, there could be Pazzi picks involved. Listen, that's all. Are we done talking about this? Because I'm
sure.
Right.
Move on.
He got hosed.
He got hosed because you said it was going to be an upset special.
Not true. That's not true. I don't do that bullshit. I come on.
You went in with your great Pazzini.
That's all. That's wrong. That's wrong.
The tides are starting to swing.
All right, look,
the curse is over, according to Billy Betts.
I have a question for you. He was yelling it and screaming it at the fight.
That's what I'm saying. Now you're getting all tight.
I have a question for you with this Oscar Collazo. Okay, it's a question. You know I love this kid. No doubt.
I really hate white gloves, but good.
I hate that you hate them. You know he's my guy, B. This Oscar Collazo. With only 10 fights, B, can he be a Pazzi prospect? But he's got a belt.
He's got a belt. He's a belt.
I think he's got 2 now.
Yeah, he does.
But no one knows who he is still.
Because he's 100 and fucking, he's minimum weight. No one ever knows. No one ever knows who those guys are.
Right, but
he's so good that they're putting him on these cards.
Your vision of Pazzi prospect is for me to pick people not only that I think are good, but you should be watching.
You've been talking about Collazo for his last 3 fights.
4 or 5, maybe. Yeah. All right. I just wanted to ask you, so I can't call him a Pazzi prospect. Can I call him a guy that you got to watch?
Yeah.
Yo, you got to watch Oscar Collazo.
All right, let's talk about this fight.
Oh, you're going to get me angry again? Look,
no,
high level stuff from the get-go, B. Ding, high level shit. I like to call, you've heard me say it before. I call, look, feints, footwork, range fighting. You've heard me say this before. I
want to talk about something that I found out.
I like to call it violent chess. I like to call it violent chess, these types of.
He's a big-time Yankee fan.
Is he?
Wanted to be a baseball player and realized that he was not going to grow too much taller than 5'1".
Right. Well, he should have, and because he would get walked every at bat.
Yeah.
Remember they put the midget in
the Guinness Book of World Records. I had it in the
it was the Phillies, wasn't it?
Yeah,
the Phillies put
or
in
something,
a midget,
or Philadelphia A's or something.
Yeah,
like
well,
that.
it was the Philadelphia Athletics. They're like, let's pit a midget in. Their strike zone's impossible.
The only criticism I could have of Collazo, which is not much, the only thing I thought maybe he could have done a little bit better. There was a times where he sort of, you talk about all the time, you just talked about it a few minutes ago, abandoning the jab on his way in. There was a couple of times where I thought he should have like pumped a double jab going in, and he actually did get caught up top going in without the jab. Other than that, changes levels, works the body when he needs to, jab up top, cross down low, jab down low, cross up top. That hook, on the point of the chin,
right on the button,
real good shot.
That Sergio Mora, who you've criticized, said, "Oh, if that was on the chin, it would have been. It was right on the fucking chin." And he goes, "If that had been on the chin, he wouldn't have gotten
Where did it land, Serge? Where did he think it landed?
Look, Collazo would land a beautiful 1-2, and this Fresh Mart, isn't that my rap name now? Yours is Sur Rungvinsai. I'm knockout CP Fresh Mart,
dude.
Our
album's gonna be so sick.
This Fresh Mart would counter with a beautiful right hand over the top. His trainer kept yelling some sort of chicken noise, and my fucking head was gonna explode,
bro.
If you guys want,
what the fuck was that?
Look, man.
Have you ever gone to, like, I know you don't like it, but have you ever gone to like a kickboxing event or something or anything like that?
I haven't.
Every time a big kick lands,
all
the kickboxing people that know what they're looking at,
go,
hey, every time.
Oh, that's wild.
So it's
like Muay Thai shit.
Yes.
Okay.
So I don't know shit about that shit, right? So I thought maybe but he was doing it when there was like nothing going on.
In US&A or everywhere? Like if they're in Thailand,
I've only been to US&A.
Nah, you were in Thailand. Get out of here. You get a little rub and tug.
What are you talking about? I was in Thailand.
What are you talking?
I was in Thailand battle rapping.
Right.
As Sur Rungvinsai, as my alias. And I think if we come out with an album though, if we actually follow through with this, the lead single is Jack Talk Thai, Dina. Jack Talk Thai.
The second single is Chicken Noise of Fresh Mart.
Fresh Mart.
Some of these rounds were close. Collazo's feet were allowing him to land that left hand. He just started doing brilliant work going into the second half of the fight. He landed a huge right counter in the 6th on Fresh Mart's chin and dropped him.
That was a weird, like, knockdown, right? It was like a delayed reaction sort of. Like,
same right hook dropped him again in the 7th. Fresh Mart got up again. What a warrior this guy is.
Yeah. He's a little muscle, that guy.
He is. And like you said, these things you like that Collazo does, he keeps calm for his age. He kept calm and patient. Right hook, left uppercut, right to the body. It's to me that forget knockout of the year, combination of the year is the knockout of Oscar Collazo, knockout CP Fresh Mart. That combination is my combination of the year for 2024, unless something crazy happens like the Arturo Gatti Joey Gamache combination that is just brutal. Look, Oscar Collazo is I'm going to start campaigning to put him in our top 10. We're looking at Vasyl Lomachenko coming off of our top 10 soon because he's going to make a decision either way.
Yeah.
If he fights a real guy and wins, then of course he stays on. But if not, if he retires, he's gone. And we're pretty firm on taking Canelo off because he's going to make a decision soon, and we're not going to like the decision. We're just not. We know we're not. Then you're off. There's 2 spots open. I'm going to push AO to put Oscar Collazo in. He's got the Ring Magazine belt now. He's the ring guy. That means he's the real guy. He's special.
Let me just to keep consistent.
If a prime,
he's 27 too, by the way.
Yeah. And
why does he only have 10 fights?
I think he was 2 Olympics, B. I think he was at 2 Olympics. I could be wrong. Another thing is, guys, he's bilingual. He's a really good kid. He's a sweetheart of a kid. He's bilingual. He's with Miguel Cotto, who is just beloved on that island. You know, can a guy at 105 ever be a star? Let's look back historically. You think of Finito. You think of who else? Michael Carter-Bahal. Recently, Bam Chocolatito, a prime Chocolatito. Saur Rungvisai was kind of a star. Those guys, Estrada, you know, they were stars for that weight class. B. Can you?
Okay,
can
so
you
here's my beef with this.
Okay, with what?
As him being pound for pound, if he doesn't move up, or you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, I got you.
There's only 287 people worldwide minimum weights.
I understand. I understand.
That's it.
But this
there's
is
only three. There's only 3 registered minimum weights in
Knockout
all of the US.
CP Freshmart hadn't lost in I think 8 years or something, and has never been stopped and was just destroyed. So I'm adding things like that. He didn't. There are only a few guys in there, but he's fighting the best ones. So it's like okay, if you say those women we spoke about early, yeah, they were the best, but they never fought anyone. Well, those 2 girls that fought on Friday night fought each other twice. So you can say, and I think they said they're going to run it back again. Yeah. So if he keeps doing this, look, I'm not saying he's in, B. You know what I mean? I'm just going to try to make an argument.
I'm just
he's so fucking good too. By the way,
really
just
good.
watching him, that Lomachenko run, the Lomachenko run, B. He's like 1 step below that and how beautiful he's boxing. He's not, it's not there, but he's like, what if that was a 10, the Lomachenko run, he's at like an 8.5 or a 9. How fucking good he is. Guys, watch Oscar Collazo, everyone that's on YouTube or on the apps. Just watch him, because you're not going to get to see him unless they do what B and I think. All right, he's not a big enough name to headline, but put him on a tank card.
No, yeah, they'll throw him on. Well, remember what they used to do with Iron Boy?
Of course. William Zepeda, Tevin Farmer, in my opinion, best fight of the weekend, in my opinion.
But
you agree with that, B?
Agreed.
WBC interim title, not a for what's that?
Sorry.
What'd you say?
This was listed when I made the list the previous week as a 12-rounder. Did they switch it to 10 rounds?
They did, which would mean, how could that be for a belt, B? Can you have a 10-rounder?
No, but a belt? So that was made 10 rounds. Barboza,
something had to happen that we didn't get the drop on, B.
Which, to be honest with you, 10-round fights suit all of Zepeda's opponents.
Yes.
Because he's a fucking nonstop ball of fucking energy.
Come forward.
It changes the whole pace of
complexion of the fight.
Where his opponent would be.
And where they would be at that time when he knows he can get them out of there.
Right.
Look, guys, I said B broke down what he thought would happen. I said what everything that B is saying is probably the rational way to go.
I just want to know, the crow right now is tasting pretty good.
Well, look, I said for me, I want to pick an upset special. Listen to Brendan, because he's being more logical here. Tev is 34, but for me, I know how good Tevin is because of he's my guy. I never tried to hide that. I've known him for a very long time. On a personal level, we talk. I know how he gets down in the gym. I know how he lives outside of the gym. Most of Tev's family is Muslim. He isn't, but he lives clean like that. Like almost, you know what I mean? His lifestyle is like he's on Dean, even though he's not. He's a gym rat. Look, in the first round, Tev implemented a classic Philly trick that we call putting out the fire. Jab, jab, jab. That when your guy fires the lead hand, you catch it on the shoulder and counter, or you actually grab that arm, that lead arm, and just clench.
Yeah.
It's a form of smothering, but you actually grab it as it comes. You know what I mean? It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. He went full on James Toney in the second round and stood in front of Zepeda and did the James Toney shit. Slipped, countered, even traded. Tev can't punch, and he's trading with this maniac. In theory, B, trading with Zepeda is a bad idea, but he's the type of guy that you got to gain his respect.
Yeah, if you're a sharpshooter, if you're a sharpshooter, You
There you
can
go.
you can trade with
There you
Zepeda.
go. Perfect. I
Because
left that out. If
what
you're
you're
a
gonna
sharp,
what I wanted to mention was what I noticed early in the fight. Was that Tevin Farmer's jab was disruptive. So
very.
before Zepeda would get a chance to, and again, this sort of, it's hard to keep doing that against Zepeda, and you could see that Zepeda got better as the fight went on, minus the knockdown, which we'll get to. Zepeda did get better as the fight got on.
Oh yeah, he's very good. He's very good.
And it started to. I'm not calling this a robbery. I had people texting me calling this a robbery. I'm not calling this a robbery. What Tevin did really well. This is a preamble, though.
Okay.
And this is a reason that they were not hotsy-totsy, as we like to say, to put Zepeda in there with Shakur, where 6 months ago, a year ago, you and I were going, well, what's the problem? Oscar's got his guy.
Yep.
Top Rank has his guy. Bob's got his guy, and now Eddie's got that guy.
Yes.
Let's go.
Let's go.
They worked together. And Shakur was drooling over Zepeda. And we were going, sidebar, Shakur's got to know. I don't see him this eager to fight anybody, Yeah,
because you're sniffing. You as a fighter, things that
right. So what Tevin did really well was he was disrupting. Zepeda is a rhythm guy, right? And that rhythm is all downhill. It's an avalanche.
Yep. It's like a running back. Do you say a running back?
Right. Right.
Runs
just
downhill.
Runs downhill. So what he was doing was, and to your point, on top of how you phrased it, putting out the fire, it was also the jab, and they pointed out in the broadcast the catch and shoot, which of course led to the knockdown.
Yeah.
Right? That jab to me was more important because that was frustrating Zepeda.
It was.
The accuracy and the jab.
It was.
Zepeda's will is what started to push the middle rounds.
My next note, my next note is Zepeda is Jason Voorhees. That's a dumb.
He also, by the way, his face, which you can't control, it holds up.
It does.
Now, if you saw his chest and body were all marked up,
beat up,
but his face,
you're right. He holds up well.
He holds up well. Tevin holds up well too. He did have a mouse, and he started to look.
I started noticing it like as it was over, and it gets worse. Then
you start looking at him like, wow, he got these
motherfuckers were in a fight.
Yeah.
These guys were just in a fight. Punches.
Why? Now, Tevin.
Catch and shoot, straight left counter.
Good night.
Was there all day for Tev. Beautiful boxing. Perfect shot in the fourth.
Yep.
Real old school Philly boxing, guys. If you wonder when B and I talk about Philly stuff, and then you watch like a Danny Garcia and you go, what do they mean? This is what we're talking about.
This is what we're talking about.
Philly gym stuff, crafty. It's tough to get. They throw shots from weird angles. They do things that other guys don't. The shoulder roll that Floyd used a lot basically came from Philly gyms.
Philly shell.
Old school, tricky, crafty stuff. Zepeda's pressure and punch output to me isn't human. Look.
So that's where I'm going to go. So someone sent me, I think Tevin was robbed. And I said, it's hard for me to score a round, even though a guy does really well in that round, when he's out punched by 40 punches, 50 punches. And this guy's Zepeda's throwing 125 punches around.
Well, the other thing with that, man, is that we talk about, you call a close fight a robbery? A robbery is if Tev just put on a clinic.
I'm not calling it a robbery.
No, I know that. I mean anyone that did. I'm going to give you my scorecard and who I think won. And that, look, this fight was the best fight of the weekend for me. I had it 95-94 for Tevin, which means I had it 6 rounds apiece. I mean, 5 rounds apiece.
5 rounds apiece.
The knockdown.
All right. I had it 6-4 for Zepeda. 6 rounds to 4 for Zepeda. With the knockdown, makes it, I do the fucking math for me.
95-94 for Zepeda.
For Zepeda. Right.
So we both had the same score for another guy. How can we really sit here and debate each other?
I want to give props to Tevin Farmer. I and again, who knows what would happen if there was 2 more rounds to fight.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't either.
I don't know how the pacing
maybe
changes.
it helped. Maybe it helped him. Maybe it did.
Right.
You know what
maybe,
I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe Zepeda
Logic dictates it helps Zepeda because he's a machine and he you know,
doesn't
shows
seem
no
to tire
signs of-
out.
No,
Right.
no.
He recovers well, so we
Yeah.
found that out about him.
Yeah.
Now
Tevin, look, man,
Tevin Farmer's not a knockout guy.
No.
Does Zepeda recover against the guy, but is a guy who can punch able to do what Tevin Farmer did? Probably not.
Probably not. Probably not.
I think the Shakur fight will look different, where Shakur stays at range a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah. Shakur might be a fucking nightmare for this guy.
You and I have pointed out, or not, and hear me out. What Shakur does well is, you and I talk about it, his legs and his upper body can be in almost 2 different places, right?
Yeah.
So if a guy's swinging it, he stays in range to land counters, but just stays just a touch away from the guy's reach.
His range is his ability to detect where his guy is.
Where his guy is.
And that range is it's like the Terminator, how he could see his target. It's like that.
Right. Now with a guy like Zepeda who's a classic swarmer, right? And he's gonna crowd Shakur. Shakur's gonna have to rattle off 2-3 shots before he comes in, right?
Yeah.
I think one of the problems in the beginning of the fight was Zepeda was trying to box Farmer. You know, don't box that guy. Just get in there and fucking get in his chest and whack him around. You know what I mean?
I'm wondering if Tevin doing what Tevin did made them do that. Made them think, look, you're a puncher, man. You're a destroyer, but you can box. We can box with this guy.
We can box with this guy
for a couple rounds. Not, of course, right. Of course, we're going to turn it up.
It didn't look great.
It didn't look great because look,
And
man, Tev is really good. I told you guys that Tev is really, really good. And he
once Zepeda started Zepeda-ing,
yeah,
you could, to me, it was like, all right, well, this is what he has to employ to win.
Right.
He's got to be in the guy. And he was, I mean, to Farmer's credit, he ate like 2 6-punch combinations, like bap, 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 that I think would have stopped like 90% of the guys.
Yeah, Tev's always had a chin on him.
Right.
Look, hey, I wrote this too. Great work from Harvey Doc. These two just beat
let them fight
out of each other and fight. They broke out. You know what I mean? They
fought. Can we get Tevin a softer touch?
Can we get this? But can we get him a guy though?
Yeah, right.
Look, a soft touch at the ECW arena. I don't want, because he's not going to get a bag.
Right.
Tev now deserves a bag off of. I thought he eked by Raymond Mortataya. You didn't. I thought he eked by William Zepeda. You think he didn't, but you don't think it's crazy that I think it.
I don't think it's crazy at all.
I don't think
it's a robbery.
I'm with you.
I watched the fight twice. I scored it for Zepeda both times, so I watched it fresh. Then
every goofball that was on Facebook that I had to see, and you luckily didn't, that never watched fights before, all said how Amanda Serrano was the worst robbery they've ever seen. I'm like, well, you've seen like 3 fights.
Right.
But ironically, it wasn't even where I was like, yeah, you know, I could see that someone calling that like Katie Taylor beat her, you know, both times when we were both close. But it's crazy watching people. It's like the bum rush to talk about the Super Bowl for people that don't watch football.
Yeah.
Like you and I, even though we stopped watching 162 baseball games a year,
right?
We didn't forget the sport. We were kids. We grew up.
Yeah,
I
can pick it up. Yeah.
Right. Same with hoops. It's like if the Knicks are a nightmare, the Sixers are a nightmare this season.
Right.
I have season tickets. If I go on a strike because I'm mad, I don't forget the game. But if you never knew the game, like, these are people that, if you're a lapsed boxing fan and you're like, yo, I've seen Hagler live. I saw Hagler Willie the Worm at the Spectrum. I'm like, yo, talk about it all you want. I respect you. Sure. These are people, girls who never saw a fight before.
Right.
We're talking about Mike is GOAT. Like, it's like, bro, I don't want to see this. Can I block these words for like 3 days? Can I block like Mike Tyson and Jake Paul?
You should.
It's over now. But yo, B, so what do you do if I don't know if Tev has a deal with anyone? I don't know if he's stopped.
I think he has a manager, and
so he does.
So he's probably just fighting on promotions.
Okay, so I wrote him to tell him some words.
By the way, he fought great.
Yeah, I gave him some words of encouragement, but I know he was like on his way back, so I haven't heard back from him. From Riyadh.
Right.
And I'm actually going to ask him, like, what's up? Like, do you have something going on with Eddie? Do you have something going on with Oscar? Do you have something
Right.
going on, or is just your manager? You know what I mean? Like,
So yeah, so what'll happen with these guys is, for those of you out there, they offer their services
yeah,
as a fighter to a different promoter.
correct.
So there's the contract is for the fight and that's it. It's not a exclusivity deal.
Guys, the easiest words to say are you're a free agent and you can pick
Right.
up per fight.
And it happens a lot with guys at Tevin Farmer's level,
Exactly.
at Tevin Farmer's age.
Yes, but you're still a nightmare. So it's like,
Right.
we don't want to sign you to a fight deal for
Right.
25 million,
Right.
but you
Hey,
can
guys,
fucking upset the apple cart.
I want to also point out, when you and I, because you and I do this as much as everyone else does, we go, fucking the belt is silly. Why do they care? Tevin Farmer, for the rest of his life, career, is a world champion. So Tevin Farmer, that's the negotiation.
He had the IBF 130 belt. He was the guy.
It's a negotiation tool. He's a former world champion.
Yeah.
Even if, and I don't want to talk about Tevin Farmer like this because I have the utmost respect for him. Even if Tevin Farmer's brought in as an opponent, he'll get fights based on the fact that he's a former world champion.
Agreed.
So that's why
he's better than that.
He is better than that. But what I'm saying is, these guys have access to fights, meaning a means to earn, than a guy who, and I'm not speaking about Tevin, may have been better than the guy who actually won a belt.
Right.
But never got there.
We spoke about that with Mario Barrios.
Tevin
Farmer is a superior fighter.
Sure.
To Mario Barrios. Different weights, guys. We know that.
Right.
But you watch them both fight. One guy's a lot better.
A lot better
than
the other
guy.
guy
Has a belt. One guy doesn't.
The point I'm making is, Tevin Farmer has a negotiation chip for the rest of his life.
Correct. Okay? And he has, guys, let's be honest here. B doesn't agree with my scorecards, but also has, watch that Opetaia fight and Zepeda fight.
Yeah.
Two guys that are in line and the top of the division.
I'm not mad at anybody that thinks Tevin Farmer won on Saturday.
Right. No, I know. I'm simultaneously defending you in what I'm saying.
Right.
When you're talking about the chips that he has. Negotiation. I got bringing chips to the table. I was the IBF champion at 130.
Right.
I fought everyone. I arguably just beat two top 10 guys. Some think agree, some don't, but absolutely some people think I did. Let me fight a good guy.
Right. Up next, Arnold Barbosa and Jose Ramirez Jr.
Okay, look, we found this to be interesting, B, you and I, because
another 10-rounder.
Yes, we keep looking at this Arnold Barbosa. And we go, this guy's got 30 fights. He's undefeated and he has no signature win and he's not young. So we would just, I don't know if it's interested, but like, what has this dude been doing? You're in a hotbed where he lives is a hotbed.
Southern California.
Like, what's going on here? We rattled off that run that Jose Ramirez went on 5-6 years ago. There was a run.
Yeah.
We didn't like Ramirez's inactivity. And thought that even though he's only 32, we both said, we think the best might be behind him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to keep it a rack, B, my co-host with the co-most, the left, right, left kid. I'm going to keep it a rack. I'm going to let you handle this one because I thought this fight was the drizzling shits.
Did you?
Yes.
Okay.
I could not have been more uninterested while watching it.
Okay. Barbosa, I think, can do that. Can I pick apart the things I thought he did well? Because I didn't think.
That's what I'm handing it over.
I didn't think Ramirez, when Barbosa punches in combination, it's very good. He throws a 2-1 combo and then goes to the body with the left hook.
Yeah.
It's very good. He's accurate. This is the best I've seen him, which I guess isn't saying much. So I didn't hate this fight. I've kind of always not really dug Ramirez's style as a typically, unless you're like a Zepeda style swarmer and you throw like 85 billion punches around.
Yeah.
That's not my cup of tea usually. I'm more always drawn to whatever reason boxer punchers. You know what I mean?
I think that's sort of the thread of the show. That's
Right.
what we
like.
hail. Yeah,
That's what we like.
The style we like.
Even though we were talking about
that prime De La Hoya style.
Yeah. So Barboza, to me, looked the best he's looked.
I agree.
So he's a player at 140, but like you said, he's 32, 31 fights. Ramirez at the highest level to me is finished. I don't think his punch resistance is what it was. I believe it was the last fight he got rocked a bunch of times. He doesn't get out of the way of shots.
No.
Doesn't appear. Reflexes seem less than what they were, and they weren't great to begin with.
He's got a leaky D, and what happens there? Hey, yo,
leaky D.
Yeah, he's got a leaky defense, and that doesn't serve you well when you're not the goon that you once were.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So
when your offense is your defense, and it's good, all right, we can work with that.
He appears to be boxing more than he ever did. You know,
and I don't particularly like that for him.
No, so. It's those, you know, I think we've said it on the show. Swarmers sort of, you know, that flame burns out faster than a guy who's a boxer. They don't typically last.
You usually go on this run and you destroy everyone. Destroy
everybody,
and fall off that run.
And then it's just,
he did that actually. He did that to Josh Taylor.
It's an insane pace.
Yeah,
very difficult to keep up.
Yeah.
So I gave Barboza to win. I agreed with the decision. I guess what's next for Barboza?
Yeah, 140. I mean, they were talking about the first bit of news we talked about was Devin Haney Teo, and you said I'm taking this with a grain of salt because these guys are carnies.
Yeah.
Well, do you bring back Devin against like an Arnold Barboza? You know what I mean? That's a fight. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I believe Barboza should get a name. You know, Subriel Matias is.
I like that fight. I like Arnold Barboza, Subriel Matias.
I think they're going to try to.
They both have something to prove, even after this. They both won their last fights, meaning this fight and the fight in PR.
I mean,
beat that guy up.
I don't know. Oscar's been kind of selling us Barboza now for a couple of years. You know,
right. Which is why we kept going. Can this guy fight someone?
Right,
He's 20.
A lot of fights. Yeah, 30, 32.
He's 32 years old.
Same age as
32 years old with 30 plus fights. You have no names until an older Jose Ramirez. Look, did well, you know. And Jose Ramirez, right?
Yeah, dude, he's been a pro for 11 years.
Here's another guy. You just talked about it for the last fight. Jose Ramirez will always be a champion.
Always. So
he can get a 140 fight. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I believe he will. I think from his face, he thinks he won this fight.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh no, he didn't. But I'm saying I don't think he's on that. Like I'm done.
You didn't find anything. Not blown away by Barboza was consistent throughout the whole fight.
He surprised me that he was better than I thought. I thought we talk about guys who build up their records in weird places or build up their and I was like, okay, I guess that's what he's been doing. He proved to me that he's better than that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where is he at? You know,
I don't know where he fits in at 140 in terms of.
Do you put in Barboza with Rougarou, who immediately said, I'm not retired after he said he was in the ring?
No, because no, it doesn't do anything for either guy, really. Barboza's not a big enough name for Rougarou to like, oh, look who I beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, if those maniacs are just being maniac carnies, meaning the Lopez family and the Haneys, and it's just what it is. They're being carnies. Then make Arnold Barboza Haney for his comeback fight.
Sure.
Zurdo Ramirez versus CBS, Chris Billum Smith. Tough fight from the onset. Two rugged guys. To me, it was just a battle of the front foot early on. That's all I saw.
Zurdo,
whoever got position was landing.
I was going to say Zurdo, when he would angle and he would move to Zurdo would rotate to his right, and he would throw that. I guess you'd call it a left hook from the southpaw stance. You know, it's a weird, right? That looping left. I mean, that shit was fucking money every time. CBS did not see it coming, couldn't get out of the way.
No.
I mean, he blocking punches with his fucking face. Zurdo, looked like a fucking kid who rolled out of bed for this fight with shorts that didn't fit.
He did.
No one runs a comb through this fucking kid's hair. Like,
I don't know. And he's got that beautiful mane.
that broccoli head that the kids in my neighborhood have.
Right.
All these fucking kids look like alpacas in my neighborhood.
Of course.
You got that down there? That
Of
same
course
haircut?
we do. Of course,
Yeah.
every white boy.
Yeah. So Zurdo's got that haircut. He's throwing this fucking left hand.
Well, he'd land combinations, but he'd throw that left hand. But then the CBS would crack him with one shot. He was blocking punches with his face.
It was
crack him with
It
one.
was clearly a bigger guy
Yeah.
against the smaller, better boxer.
Yeah, big shots from both guys. I thought it was fun for a while there, especially considering that you've bestowed the Zurdo on him.
But I did say at this weight, he's much more fun to watch. He just doesn't look like he cuts weight anymore at all. Just stays in shape.
No.
And there's no weight cut at all.
No.
He used to look fucking chopped up.
Yeah, this William Smith got a beard on him.
Bro, did you see the thing today? He's got a busted hand.
I did. I saw the picture.
Whole face all busted up.
I noticed in the 6th, B, he started reacting weird to Zurdo's shots, and I'm wondering, is this corner going to have to do the thing?
Step in here, yeah.
You don't want to do. The straight left hand couldn't miss. Smith is too tough for his own good, and he was just outgunned. That eye you're talking about, swollen and bloody then, it looks even more. He looks like a monster.
When did that bust open? In like the 4th?
Pretty early on. I'll say this. Every time I thought he was done, he would land a big right hand on the button on Zurdo, who's got a chin too. A big right hand. I mean, I wasn't saying it's swinging the fight or giving him rounds per se, but
bro, this Zurdo,
here's the other thing, B.
Put himself to sleep before the fight. Like I said, guy looks like he has the most emotionless human being I've ever seen. You know, he is just fucking.
But when this William Smith would crack Zurdo with that right hand, these guys were no selling it. The DAZN guys, not once were they like, landing a big right. I mean, I'm not saying to say the guys are winning, but you crack them on the button.
Yeah, come on,
nothing. So for whatever reason, they would just ignore it. I just found it odd. I don't know why. He actually hurt Zurdo to the body in the 10th. I don't know if you remember that. He did not like it. He didn't go down.
No, but he
But between the 10th and 11th, Zurdo had the how the fuck is this guy standing?
Still here, yeah.
When good tough throwback fight. You know, it wasn't close.
No,
CBS is just a goon. Zurdo was just a bit too much. I had it 116, 112 for Zurdo.
8-4, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you have it 9-3, I'm not mad. Judges had it 116, 112 twice. 116, 113 UD for Zurdo. They're saying Jai Opetaia next. What do you think about that? That's what I mean.
It's a tough task for a guy moving up against an Opetaia. It seems much bigger. Do we have stats?
He's talked more than once about going to heavyweight.
Right.
Zurdo fought at 68 or 75.
Both.
Yeah, that's.
I think Zurdo looks great. I just want to also mention, dude, Darren Barker on the mic. I love him. He's got a great voice. That guy.
He's great.
Props to Darren Barker.
He's great.
All right. Opetaia 6'2" with a 76-inch reach. All right. I thought for some reason Opetaia was 6'4". I don't know why I thought that. But I mean, Zurdo's 6'2.5" with a 75-inch reach. Make it happen.
They said
I know it's not height classes, it's weight classes.
Yeah, of course.
Let's do it.
That's the fight to make. To me, they can do it. It can be made. There's no roadblocks. So they're saying that's next.
So that was for the WBA and the WBO?
Yes.
So what's the deal with BoxRec? They don't publish anything that says WBA anymore.
I don't know if they're
they got a beef with them or something?
They did it for Oscar Collazo too, because that was for 2 belts.
Nothing.
And they only had BO and ring.
Son of a bitch. All right. So what does Opetaia have? Opetaia's got the IBF.
Yeah.
All right. So that's a
unification fight.
Unification. Unifier, baby.
Yeah,
all right.
That would be the ring guy, I think.
When do we make that? And is that going to be on another Riyadh season? I assume. Right?
I would assume so.
Yeah, because you're not going to get Ramirez, Opetaia. Trying to think if like Oscar would do like a Mexican card, Opetaia wouldn't take that. It would have to be. I think it would be on neutral ground.
I don't know. I don't know. The bag's there. I don't think he cares.
I think Opetaia, well, he could get outboxed. I don't know, man. That's an interesting fight. I mean, Ramirez is, to me, because of his long career at the lower weights, you know what I mean? To me,
I want to see that fight.
I want to see it. I do too.
I want to see it next in February or March. Both guys got out unscathed.
Yeah, I mean,
not Chris Smith, but Zurdo did, and so did Jai Opetaia last fight. We watched him. He got out unscathed, didn't he? Or was there a problem?
No, it was unscathed.
Guys, not much this weekend, but Brandon Adams, who I really like Brandon Adams.
I know, that's why I put him on here.
That win against Boachuk keeps looking better and better. He's beaten some good guys versus Andreas Katsarakis. I don't know much about him at all. I like Brandon Adams. Like I said, man, that Boachuk win, those wins that you go back and they start looking more impressive. It's an interesting.
He's a Greek guy fighting out of LA. He makes a good spot at Coppola. I don't know.
10 years ago, Brandon Adams lost to Willie Monroe Jr., who was really good at one point. Willie Monroe.
Yeah.
Certainly a really good boxer. He got clipped by Apollo Thompson in a fluke and got starched in the second round. Again, 10 years ago, 2015. Yeah. And then his other loss is to Mal Charlo, which went 12 and was a UD. The one fight again 10 years ago to a good guy. And then he just got clipped by Apollo Thompson, who could punch, wasn't a great fighter.
Yeah, and that was moving up against Charlo.
Yeah. I mean, he beat Mosley Jr., who's, whatever that means. The Sergey Boachuk win started to look great, and he destroyed Ishmael Villarreal.
Right, and he's back down at 54. So this other guy's undefeated, though.
Well, I mean,
Katsarakis.
Yeah, what do we know about him?
He beat a 12-0, a 20-2, and a 5-5 in his last 3 fights.
I mean,
he's got some checkered customers in that.
He's got one of those. He's Greek, but he's got the Eastern Euro face and structure. I'm gonna kill you.
Right.
So, is Brandon Adams the fucking challenger here? In the view
I don't think so. I don't think so.
No.
So
you're looking at, let's get Brandon Adams a good win against an
undefeated good win
guy
on DAZN,
and then we'll put him in next with a real guy.
Yeah.
This is at 54, right, B?
54, correct.
So you think, Billy, is there anything on the book for Brandon Adams?
Probably not.
Andreas Katsarakis?
No, I could not find anything.
I mean, we're getting a weekend off this week, basically. So I put this on here because
I'm gonna watch it though.
Yeah, me too. But what I'm saying is, we've had fights like nonstop, 5 days a week almost. You know what I mean? And then packed on the weekends. Right now, this is a slow week.
Look, Pazzi wants more. Hey yo.
So I'm picking Brandon Adams by knockout.
Wow,
or stoppage, or ends, within the
let me see if I can get a line. I believe that this Katsarakis wins and gets hosed.
Hosed?
Hosed.
All right.
Okay.
That's an upset special feint. You fainting the upset special here. That's
How
what that
about
is.
this?
Sure.
I'm picking him straight up to win. Forget the getting host. Pazzi
Yeah.
with the upset special.
The Greek Freak.
The Greek Freak. He's gonna put fucking this Malacca right the fuck out of there. How do
Okay.
you like that?
Yeah. All right. Fuck it. Let's do it. I think that
This is in Atlanta.
yeah, it's weird. Because he's from California, Brandon Adams, right?
I think born and raised.
Yeah.
There's community picks in this one thing, just where people that are about they have it literally 50-50. We need to figure out, B, is if DAZN or whoever, if he's with Eddie or Acker or someone over there, are they hotsy-totsy for him and they think Adams.
Yeah.
Look, Brandon Adams is 35, B. He's been around.
I'm telling you. I'm picking Brandon Adams. You're picking.
I am. Billy, the day of.
Katsurakis.
Hit me up, Pazzi.
All right.
I hit him during the fights and was like, "You're not hotsy-totsy." It took him a day to get back to me, B.
What's he up to lately?
I don't know, because I had
This
picks
guy,
for
he disappears
Riyadh.
on the weekends.
I had picks for Riyadh. And he said, I am not, in fact.
I'm not, in fact.
Hotsy-totsy. I am not.
All right. So that being said, we got a little talked about a contest last week.
We did.
We need to
be real quick. His text was, "It was not feeling frisky last night. In bed by 8 p.m. Beaten down by the rigorous activities of toddlers."
Yes.
And I just saw their karate picture today and knew right away what they did to this Billy.
I didn't get a karate picture.
They are the cutest kids who simultaneously look like they're on demon time.
They are. Look who their dad is.
Yes. And I love how Billy's wife sells them as the angels on Facebook, on the book face.
They probably are for her.
I don't know the answer to that.
And when Billy,
I can see them being bad for Billy and really good for her.
Yeah. And when Billy
I almost slipped up.
I asked Billy, why are you teaching them karate? There's 3 of them. You're outnumbered.
Right.
It's not a good look.
He said all 3 turned heel. He's got a heel faction.
He's got a heel faction.
Yeah, and him and wifey, it's a 3-on-2. It's a handicap match.
That's what I'm saying. Every day.
Every day.
Oh. All right, Bill. So,
well, I'm just hoping that one day they'll let me be their manager, and
right, he'll be Mr. Fuji,
like Bobby the Brain.
Mr. Fuji, throw salt in the eyes.
I'm just growing my beard so I can put rubber bands in it.
Yeah, like
Captain Lou.
Yeah, how about the GOAT manager was Gary Hart.
Yeah, I could do.
I mean, if you're really in real life wrapped up with the Chicago mob, you're the hardest ever. Remember Missing Link? He slashed him up in real life. He got fresh.
See, I don't know this stuff. This is WWF?
No, that was territory shit.
See, this fucking frustrates me when you guys go on these fucking territory.
Billy probably doesn't know that Missing Link story. He got fresh.
Billy knows every wrestling story.
No, he doesn't.
He's a wrestler.
He used to carry the blade on him, be the $150. So this Missing Link was like, fuck you. Zip, zipped up his face.
He box cutter Pazzied him?
Yep, his whole shit.
That's not very nice.
Oh, look, you don't get fresh with fucking Gary Hart.
I guess not. Uh-oh.
Look at Billy. He's actually doing it, pulling it out of the hat. He told me that earlier.
Can we hear the shuffling?
We need like a...
So guys, right now, if you're only listening, we have a contest for t-shirts, as you've seen on our Instagram.
Correct.
We said we would randomly pick
a very, very rare Bam and Boots shirt. It's a size large, but fits like an XL.
XL,
He says, because So take that for how you want to take it.
Right.
If you wear a large, just dry it, and it'll probably be a shrink to a
Yeah.
large, but it fits like an XL. And I think to knock them out the box shirt, we can give any
size you got to tell
you
us
need.
once we contact you. All right. So Billy's shaking the list.
I
Billy,
have a hat.
He should
You
got
have
a
a hat?
hat. He's
Actual
doing it
hat
old
with
school.
everyone's
He's doing it
name.
old school.
picking out of a
Everyone's
hat
name
who
is
enters.
written. I'm gonna pick one name, and one name only. Can I have a drum roll, please?
His hands in there. His hands in there. He's looking the other way. He's got a name. He's got a name.
Oh my God. Boxing coach Marcos.
Oh.
That was not planned.
Oh my God, we
All
know
right.
Marcos, and this
Yeah.
is not planned. Billy
That's-
just showed it to me, written in his.
Boxing coach Marcos. Our
Marcos
old
is
friend.
the best. Our old buddy, a great coach, great guy.
And now we have to
what-
ship this thing to Australia.
Yeah, Marcos.
Hey, Marcos, you'll get it in like 2 years.
2 years, and it's gonna put all of us in the poorhouse.
Yeah.
it should be $3,000 to send there.
We're shipping it by boat.
Right.
Rowboat.
I'll definitely throw some stickers in there, Marcos, whatever, and other stuff if I have stuff at the crib because your family.
I wanted to
guys,
thank
Marcos-
I want to thank everybody for entering the contest.
Yeah,
and-
thanks, guys. We're gonna do this more often. by
yeah,
the
we'll
way.
do this more often.
Whatever.
So don't get
whatever we're-
discouraged.
Yeah, don't get discouraged or mad at us. Marcos trains he trains younger kids, amateurs, pros at his gym. Like,
Olympics.
yeah, man.
He's,
Marcos
he's
is
an
no
Olympic
joke.
boxing trainer.
Yeah, and he listens to us maniacs ramble on everything.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
What a sweetheart of
It's
a guy.
flattering.
It is. And Doug Fisher from the Ring magazine, Billy, bigged me up on Twitter for saying Tev had a shot because
I said I'm here to. Looks like I got some.
Yeah,
I
don't think you do at all.
I think you and Doug,
listens
you and
to
Doug
us.
should get a room, okay?
Oh, hey, that's my guy. I haven't seen him
Yeah.
in person since a Cotto fight at
Well, that's
MSG.
why I'm thinking maybe we go out west.
Yeah, Doug's got to tell us what's going on out west in 2025 that he will absolutely be at.
Yeah, we'll go
We
meet up
can
with Doug.
take him out to dinner.
Doug is a track guy too, and
Doug also doesn't age. I've known him for
Fountain of Youth.
20 years. This guy's fountain of youth, black don't crack, full head of hair. Doug, can I need to borrow some of the magic potion.
We got a little Mailski.
All right, let's go.
It's our pal, AV Julian, the most
AV.
dedicated emailer there is. He says, "Peace,
Yes.
gang." He says, "Pardon the Chris DiStefano reference in my last email. I don't think Brendan looks like him, but that he will often carry the same vocal register. It's because I've been sick for like a month. Being the master of accents and all, it could be unintentional impersonations are better than his deliberate ones, just not nearly as funny. What isn't funny is Friday night's big transcontinental Netflix shindig, and the fact that I watched it and couldn't be more ashamed.
You're echoing our sentiments, AV Julian.
The card was solid minus Goyat Nunez
Agreed.
playing patty cake baker's man for 6.
Don't know what was happening there. That's what I was watching. Shoo.
I should have turned it off after Serrano Taylor, but regrettably, I watched the main event and could be more disappointed in myself. Even if he weaved underneath him, shattered his ribs with a left hook, and popped his head off like a dandelion with an overhand right, I still would have been ashamed of myself having watched. Vinny, I needed to make Vinny, you got to help me with this.
Okay.
Wudu and 2 rakat after that. Did I say that right?
You did. You
Okay.
did. Wudu is the act of cleaning yourself before prayer, which is rakat. So yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You perform wudu to clean yourself. You know what I mean? Before you pray.
It was an
That's
astronomically
very funny, actually.
yeah.
He was that gross.
He's very clever.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He'll be our producer one day.
Mhm.
It was astronomical.
Oh, wow, okay, AV with all these jokes.
It was astronomically successful business transaction that failed to satiate the hype from the attention it generated. I ask honestly, does this hurt boxing? You guys are the fucking best. Thanks, AB. You're the best.
Thanks, bro.
Okay, so I've been answering this privately from people all week. Does this hurt boxing? I think I mentioned earlier that the Paul Tyson shine is too bright to properly promote. I get what he's trying to do.
No, I do too, but I don't
But
think that it's working.
It's too bright to shine and get the guys on the undercard the proper the proper attention that they need, because most people aren't going to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
If he wants to do this right, put himself mid-card and fight a fucking boxer who's active. That's it. That's all I got to say about Jake Paul. I think I don't really want to talk about them.
I don't either.
Until he fights a
my
fucking
answer
boxer.
to the question, is it bad? Is it good? Is it? I think it somehow cancels itself out. I'll answer it in saying this. Every nincompoop that was commenting on it, right, which was most of the country, did not watch the Zurdo card. They did not watch Tevin Farmer. You're getting close. I'm not calling it, but one of the fights of the year was William Zepeda.
Sure.
Tevin Farmer. I don't think it's going to win my fight of the year or your.
No, it was a great fight.
But it might be in the 5 that we put up on a poll.
Tons of fun.
Tons of fun.
Yeah,
there were fun fights. The Zurdo fight was fun, even though it was lopsided.
I didn't hate the Barboza Ramirez fight.
You know what it was, man?
In fairness, compared to the other fights, yes, it wasn't as good. But if that was a one-off fight, that's not a bad fight.
Look, I'll accept that. Maybe I was riled up because watching Oscar Collazo gets me fired up. So maybe it was sandwich no Diddy in between 2 fights that I really, really, really enjoyed. You know, and
I like the Zurdo fight a lot.
I did too.
His move to cruiserweight has made me a fan of it.
It's fun. It's fun. The Jai Opetaia fight will probably be fun too.
Be a lot of fun.
Fun fight because CBS is tough, if not nothing else. And I'd watch him again too, against just like a tough guy. You know what I mean? I don't know that cruiserweight's pretty thin, so he could get in there with a guy that's ranked 8 or 5, 6, 7 and probably put on a barn burner. You know what I mean? He's tough as nails. He's a big kid. Yeah, that's my answer, guys.
We're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah, AV Julian. My answer is: did anyone that tune into that on Netflix watch that or the zone card? Or any of them going to watch Brandon Adams?
I'm such a fucking, like, I try to, whenever someone asks me, "You gonna watch tonight?" I go, out of morbid curiosity was my answer to everybody.
Yeah,
and I told people, tune into these undercards.
Yes,
it's actually a good card. So a couple people
said what I always say about Jake Paul and his brother: they will never get a second of my time, and they did.
They did
because you and
you told me that the other one is a good wrestler.
Yeah, he's like
Vin.
Yeah, yes, Bill.
Jake Paul versus Logan Paul with Mike Tyson in the corner of Logan, WrestleMania.
Ooh,
are you saying that, or did you just book that?
I just booked it.
Oh, that's money all day long.
Oh, this Billy.
That's money. That's a co-main.
I like it.
I do too. That's a co-main.
All what it was leading up to.
Yeah, but he's really good, Logan Paul. And I loathe both of those kids. I do not like them.
And he's good. And I don't know shit about wrestling, so
he's very good.
All right. So you guys can find me at I_know_that_kid. Write us at kotbboxing@gmail.com. Find us on IG at KOTBboxing. YouTube at KOTB podcast, and you could get me on Twitter at the Killer B24. Vin
at BoxCutterPazzi on IG, at Vinny_Paz on Twitter, JMTstore.com for your knock 'em out the box shirts and new JMT skate decks. If you sign up for our mailing list at jmtstore.com, you're automatically entered to win a signed one. I signed a psychosocial deck. There's a little video on my Instagram if you want to see what it looks like. We're going to be doing more contests soon, guys.
And we'll do more contests here too. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's what I mean. That's what I meant. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, we can we got you.
We'll figure some stuff out.
Yeah, don't be discouraged if if you didn't win.
Just remember, follow us on socials, guys. Follow us on YouTube. Rate the show.
Yeah.
Review the show.
Oh, that's
It-
important.
all that's
And
important. It
we've
helps
been
us.
more active on Instagram, all of us together and separately. So regarding the show. So go follow us. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all next week.
Say goodnight, Billy.
Good night, Billy.